everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. It is lockdown number 2, stay-at-home-a-palooza, as we're calling it here in this house. So we only managed to crank out one video at the senior center before the stay-at-home order took effect, but that doesn't mean we can't still make videos here. So here we are in the kitchen, and we're going to make a really good one for you tonight. It's going to come together pretty easy, pretty quick. So I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook lately where people, particularly women I'm noticing, are posting about eating their emotions right now. And although a lot of the posts are meant to be humorous and elicit a laugh, and they do, there is a degree of truth to that because it is very stressful. And I know sometimes I am prone to look for comfort in food. So instead of, focusing on salads and lighter eating at this time of year, which is probably what I should be doing and what, the majority of maybe cooking websites and chefs are doing, I instead am going to provide you with a few recipes that are really comforting and delicious, so that if you are going to eat your emotions, you're really going to enjoy eating your emotions. So tonight we're going to make a pasta dish, and I'm sure any Italian folks who are watching this will cringe when I pronounce this, but I believe it's called Cacio e pepe, which means cheese and pepper pasta. So what we've got, I'm going to go over my ingredient list here, but what we've got in the big pot here, we've got some boiling salted water, and we've got some pasta in there, just my son and I, so it's enough for 2 folks. And it's bubbling and burbling away. In terms of other ingredients, some traditional, some not so traditional. So we've got some Parmesan cheese, freshly grated Parmesan cheese, the real McCoy. We've got some Pecorino Romano cheese. We're going to be using about 3/4 of a cup of each of those cheeses to make it really good and cheesy. We've got about good 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter here. We've got some extra virgin olive oil here. I've also got a 1 cup measure because we're going to want to reserve about 1 cup of the starchy pasta water. That's going to help us generate our sauce. Now, 2 non-traditional ingredients. One is lemon. I just love citrus in so many things, and I just find that this brightens up the sauce just a little bit, so you can do a little grating of lemon zest, not the juice, but the zest in the sauce if you want. Optional, totally optional. Also very not optional, but if you just want it a little creamier, you can use some half and half or some whipping cream or whatever you have on hand if you want to, but those are non-traditional. Last but not least, a glass of wine. Also optional, but highly recommended. So we've got our pasta cooking away, and as soon as those noodles are approaching doneness, we're going to get started on our sauce here in this pan, and I'm going to show you how quickly and easily this comes together. Stay tuned. Okay, so our noodles are approaching doneness here in our pot, so we're going to get started on our sauce, which we're going to make in a frying pan. You're going to want something that's fairly deep because you're eventually going to be adding your noodles into this, and you want to have enough room to toss things around and get it combined. So I'm just going to drop in my butter. Okay, and to that we're going to add a nice glug of olive oil, not a lot, a couple tablespoons maybe. Oh, how could I forget when we were going over our ingredient list? Sausage and pepper, cheese and pepper, and I forgot the black pepper. So you're going to want black pepper, and you're going to want like a pepper that you grind yourself or something that's fairly coarse for this, okay? Good grief. I swear there is some logic to this COVID brain syndrome that everyone talks about going around. So I'm going to grab a spoon. And we're over a medium heat here. We do not want to start cooking the milk solids in our butter. We're not trying to make brown butter here. We also don't want the oil to smoke, so make sure you keep it right at medium. And we're going to melt that down. Now, at this point, I'm just going to start adding pepper. Lots and lots and lots of ground pepper. And you're essentially kind of heating your, I don't want to say frying, you're toasting, you're just kind of opening up the flavor of your black pepper by doing this. Lots and lots of pepper, folks. Okay. See, our butter is still melting away there, and you can see how much pepper I've put in there. Lots and lots, and probably I will still end up putting more. Okay. sizzling away. I'm gonna really turn the heat down here for a moment. And now is when we wanna start bringing our pasta out of the water and just transferring it over into the pan. Make sure you get all your noodles. Boy, oh boy. There's a generous handful of noodles I put in that pot. There we go. Okay, so we've got our pasta in here. We're going to start giving it a little sort of a toss. Get all that butter and olive oil in there. And now, the good stuff, our cheeses. So we've got our Pecorino Romano going in right now. Okay, and now we're going to do, that was about 3/4 of a cup again, by the way. And now we're going to do about the same amount of fresh grated Parmesan. And again, we're going to start tossing a little bit here. And to loosen this up, this is where we add that 1 cup of our pasta water. So there's lots of starches in here. There we go. Honestly, guys, that's it. So give it a stir, give it a toss. You're going to want to keep sort of stirring and tossing this until it kind of gets all creamy and delicious and all that cheese melts and disperses through your pasta. And I can tell by looking at this, not nearly enough pepper in here for my liking, or for any self-respecting Italian, I would think either, would say that there's not enough pepper in here. So we're going to turn up our heat just a little bit, and we're going to add more pepper. Now, I suppose you could use the regular like ground pepper that you get in, just a normal shaker. However, this is a little bit more interesting visually, and I think it would be easy to get really carried away with the pepper if you were using the really fine ground stuff instead of like grinding it yourself like this. This is what I'm using here is like a tri-colored peppercorn blend. Forget where I got it. Could have been the bulk barn. I tend to buy a lot of my spices at the bulk barn. All right, we're bubbling and brewing. We're just going to continue to stir this until any last little sort of bit of moisture from the water is absorbed and it's just a nice, creamy, delicious sauce. So stay with us and we will show you what it looks like when we take it to the plate. So before we go to a plate, here is a quick peek at how we're doing in our pan. You can see it's nice and creamy, but when I move the pasta, you're not seeing a whole lot of liquid in there, which is what you want. You don't want it watery. You just, that water is just to sort of help share all the cheesy goodness around your pasta. So I'm going to kill the heat on that, and we are going to go to the plate. We're going to put the dressing on our Caesar salad, and we're going to have a darn fine comfort food meal. Here again, the young lad who is in charge of quality control.
I'm not young anymore, I'm 15.
Okay,
Jeez.
The 15-year-old who's in charge of quality control going to give it the taste test. Good stuff? Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, so I hope you have enjoyed this very quick, very easy pasta dish.
This is
perfect. Good. I'm glad you're liking it. This is heckin' good, he says. Teenagers. Anyway, so stay tuned for more sort of comfort food favorites designed for eating your emotions during a crisis situation. And we'll see you again soon in my kitchen. Take care. Bye-bye now.